people has been a problem for many years. In fact, there's an estimate shows that 553,742 people in the United States went homeless right now today. In California and New York are the most cities who attract homeless people just because they're so big. And if we all don't come together to make a change and come up with ideas, then the numbers are just going to keep growing and growing. And within this speech, I will be talking about the main causes of homeless people, 3 types of homelessness, how homeless people survive, how it feels to be homeless, what problems they face on a day-to-day basis, and who's actually affected. Now, to go back to the main causes of homelessness, we have housing. There's absolutely homeless. That's what that means. You're without a home, without a roof over your head, without any food or any clothes. We also have unemployment. People who lose their job are most likely to go homeless. They don't have any money to pay for bills, so that causes them to start living off of someone else or start living on the street. They don't have anyone in a city. They're just by themselves. And then mental issues. Mental issues is a big thing on homelessness. Most people who do not have a stable mind will end up homeless, and most people who get hooked on substance abuse will wind up homeless too, because they don't have the support system or the people behind them to tell them to let go of drugs and to get their life together. Now moving on, and actually Esteban, he actually created this system called Point of Time, and it's actually to count heads of the homeless people. He counts heads of the people who's actually on the street and the people who's in the homeless shelter, just to get an estimate to put on the internet and keep the stats up. Now, how homeless people survive? That question runs in my mind all the time. It just amazes me how someone who does not have food on their plate, clothes, not guaranteed food or somewhere to live, can live actually on the street or in a shelter for over years and years at a time. How can someone take care of themselves but on the street? We're human, so how can we actually not get sick and die? There's many homeless people that are even around Texarkana who, on a day-to-day basis, who just live on the street. Now, according to the academic journalists, the homeless people are not just sitting down. They're trying to collect any little penny they can. They're trying to actually make a living. There are some homeless people who just have hit rock bottom and are trying to get back to where they were, because at one point they had everything they had and then got hooked on drugs or just had a mental breakdown and just lost everything they had in over a day. Now, I can not only imagine how someone that's homeless feels, but after looking up research, Paula actually said that she talked to homeless people, and they said that in that shelter they have to share toilets from 10 to 25 people. I mean, I can't imagine doing that at all, and especially in the pandemic that we're in today. How is it possible to keep so many people from any part of the city or town that you're in and not sharing most of the same space and not catching this horrible disease? That's horrible. I feel like homeless people have it really bad at this point. Most of these people are depressed. They're lonely. They don't have anything to go to. So most of the time, if people get in a really bad mindset, then it's really hard to come out of that. It's really hard to just bounce back off of that if you have a really bad mindset. Now, what problems do homeless people face on a day-to-day basis? Well, they're homeless, so of course they don't have a house, but it gets deeper than that. It gets on more of the health side. We have to think about their feet, their hands, they're blistered from walking from place to place trying to find a living. They're dental. They don't have money to get their teeth cleaned and checked on yearly. It's just so much that goes into being homeless that most of us take for granted each and every day. They don't get to go to the doctor to get the type of prescriptions that they need. It's really hard. It's really hard, and we really overlook that every single day. And according to the Journal of Socialomics, there are actually two problems to being a homeless, or two, going back to the main topics, is drug abuse and the lack of education. If most of the time the jobs these days require a high level education to get a job, and most homeless people don't have it because dropped out, got a hold to drugs, and now their life is just hit rock bottom. Now moving on to who's actually affected who's actually affected when being homeless. I mean, everyone, whether you're elderly, ages from 50 to 64 are actually the most people who tend to uh, be homeless or be on the street. But it's not just the elderly people. There are teenagers and kids who get put out of their house, or just to have nowhere to go. Parents just will not take care of them. That's considered homeless. They're trying to live off their friends or just the little bit that they have. And the public health, according to them, they said single people are actually the most people who are affected while being homeless. It's really crazy. But now that you think about it, if you're single, you don't have anyone. Most people who are homeless, they don't have a stable background at all, and if they do, then their people are just showing them tough love. I mean, it's, you did what you did, you made the choices that you make, so you're just gonna live with the consequences that you're dealt with. So to conclude this speech of the main causes of homelessness is not nothing new. It's I believe it's something that it can be fixed, most definitely, if we all just came together and figured out different resources, looked into the resources actually, and the social security part of the whole system. If we all just stop thinking about ourselves, and or help one another, or if people just got off of drugs and just help better themselves, then the homelessness the rates will most definitely go down, and most of these people in articles would not have to be written about homeless people at all.